Hello everyone, today I will be going through my process and just all the stuff to do with me creating this Katara drawing. And okay, so I did this in krita and it took me, I think it was just under 4 hours, so that is actually not that much. But that's probably because I'm quite impatient. Like most people on YouTube, I see them spend like 10 hours on a digital piece. And I have done that once with one of my Equestria Girls ones, but that was just because there was loads of characters. But anyway, we're not talking about that drawing, we're talking about this one. So I started with the sketch. Shocking, I know. And so I'm not doing like a fan art. Well, it is fan art because I'm a fan and I'm creating art. But it's not that fan art where they come up with this new pose for their character. It's the recreation of a scene. I even copied the background. So that's a bit, yeah. Okay, so I did the sketch and then I went to the properties and I unchecked blue and that made that layer blue. And then I am going over for the second sketch layer where I'm just neatening up everything, but still not quite neat enough to be the line art. So I think I was planning this to be the line art, but then I realized it's ugly, so I went over it again. So the line art surprisingly took me a very short time, and by very short time I mean like an hour or something, because the line art usually takes me like a really long time, but with this pencil tool it was actually kind of nice and I kind of enjoyed it. So okay, as you can see, Katara is drawn in my style, and actually I recommend you do that. You get a scene from a movie or TV show and then you recreate it in your own style. It's really fun. Katara's hairband thingies, I just like drawing them. Those overly thingy shapes were actually really satisfying to draw. Okay, and also her hair, I really like doing that. And her, well, eyes are always my favourite things to draw. Always were, always will be. That's actually why I hardly ever draw people with closed eyes, because eyes are the emotion. So for this piece I wanted to capture it's like anger but also like determination, like, oh, I might have fallen but I'm getting back up again. You can see her arm, she's pushing herself up back to fight and waterbend. So yeah, I really liked her messy hair and just her hair out, because she always has that. Well, that was in season 1. In season 3 she does have her hair out a lot, which is, and she's got really pretty hair. Okay, sorry, I can't talk. So you can see that I'm avoiding doing her mouth, and that's because, oh yeah, and I just started doing her mouth. Yeah, but I was avoiding it because drawing open mouths is really hard for me. I can never get the shape quite right because this is cartoony and the mouth is kind of a circle. It wasn't that hard, but whenever I try to do like a realistic open mouth, it just looks weird and stuff. So continuing the line art, yeah. So then I tried to do some kind of a background, but then I gave up and continued the line art. See, this is the thing. I don't stay in one place very long. I always like jump about, which is kind of annoying, and it's kind of annoying to look at. I always zoom in and out. It's actually not this bad in this piece, but in other ones I actually zoom in and out really fast, like even in like at like normal speed, and I can't even imagine. Well, actually I did look at it sped up. It was terrible. It was like boo boo boo. Well, okay, that was really weird. So yes, now I'm starting the colouring. It's really nice to have that reference photo because, lazy people like me, you don't have to think about the colours. You can just use the eyedropper tool and then just colour pick. It's just so nice and it's satisfying. one thing, I didn't use the bucket fill tool or like the magic wand selection tool for the hair, just because I felt like doing it by hand. I don't know, it sometimes just feels nice. Other times you get really bored and just want to get over with it, but I like doing it, so I did. But I think for some parts of the clothes I actually did use the magic one. Yeah, you can see I'm doing it right there. But I don't really like it because it's really annoying to have to go back to some parts that the bucket fill tool might not have gone correct. So yeah, I'm just blocking in all the colours. That's what I do first always. For me, if I start shading before I have all the colours, it just never works out. I either end up never finishing the piece, or I have to erase all the shading or just delete that layer. It's annoying. And yeah, so I did her skin, clothes and hair on separate layers because I made some other layers set to multiply that I clipped to each of those layers, so I wouldn't have to really focus on staying within the lines, because yeah, in Krita the clipping mask is weird and I don't really like it. I mean, I used Fire Alpaca, it was very simple there. It's simple in Clip Studio Paint as well, but in Krita you have to create this separate layer, layer folder, sorry, and then put your layers in there, and then you can click on the A thingy in the middle beside the layer option, some layer option thingies, yeah. That. So now you can see me doing the blush. I think I'm doing on a multiply layer, yes. I'm sometimes lazy to create a new layer and just do the blush in a multiply layer, which is usually sometimes really annoying because it just doesn't turn out the color I wanted. I like get the color and then it turns out way too dark or just not the right, but here it turned out kind of decent. I actually think that I didn't use, no actually I definitely didn't use the actual hair color for the multiply layer, because I remember testing it and it was much too dark. So I think you saw for a moment how light that color actually was, because that's the color that actually gave this nicer brown shadowy color. And this is actually kind of yeah, you can see me just touching things up. And yeah, I'm not sure, I don't think this would have happened if I did use the bucket fill tool. So now, do I have regrets? Probably. Yeah, probably. But my biggest regret is shading the hair from the bottom, because that was such a waste of time. I don't know, I think I spent like an hour on just that shading and it was all for nothing. I tell you, it was all for nothing, because later I decided, I think you saw in the picture at the beginning, that the lighting, the blue lighting, see, that's where I started getting the idea of that lighting situation. So I wanted it to, like, the light source to come from downward, from below her, and so I had to erase all of that shading, and then I had to draw the blue highlights instead, and that was very sad, a waste of time. So I really recommend you plan out your piece more thoroughly than I did. Well, you should plan it. You know what, actually ignore me. You don't need to plan out everything, because that will be kind of stressful and annoying. Actually ignore everything I say, because it's the opposite of stressful. You know what, speaking in front of a microphone is hard. Anyway, I actually really enjoyed doing those individual hair highlights, and I thought they looked really cool. And I also like doing it underneath her eyes, I don't know, and making her eyes like so, I don't know, I made her eyes like pop. I think it was add, no, it was a glow dodge layer, or like a dodge or a glow color dodge or something like that, but because it just made her eyes so much, you know, more prominent, and it made her like, you know, have that really angry eyes. I think I mentioned that before. Okay, yeah, so you can see me rubbing out even more of what I did before, because again, I was displeased with what I had produced. Yes, I am still continuing to struggle with the hair, but then things turn out a bit better. The hair is starting to look kind of decentish, and I am starting to have an idea of what I actually want, and not just moving around my stylus aimlessly, hoping that maybe in a few years' time this will look decent. So here I am just doing the actual shadow once I've done the highlights. So this is the second time I'm actually doing the shadow of the hair. Yes, sometimes I do just pause, like randomly. I think that was lunch, and I was having lunch, and then I just kept the screen recorder on, which is kind of dumb of me. But anyway, continuing with the video, with me speaking. Yes, I did add a few highlights at the top, but I think I didn't like that, or actually no, yes, I didn't like it, so I kept on redoing it, which is a bit sad. So I made her hair loopy thingies. I think at the beginning of the videos had said hair band thingies. No, it's hair loopies. Yes, now I'm so proud of myself for remembering. Okay. I was very happy when I was doing the highlights on the clothes, because I thought that looked very nice, and I didn't have any like serious problems with that. I mean, I didn't have to redo it. And then also when I was doing the shading for the clothes, that was okay as well. I was just using a multiply layer. Oh wait, I just saw it. It was color dodge. So the highlights were on a color dodge layer, and also there was an addition layer. So for the highlights I had 2 layers. I think the addition was for the brighter highlights, and then the color dodge was for the more blue and a little bit lighter highlights. Yes, now I remember, and now I am officially proud of myself. So, yes, I added so many highlights to her eyes, because that was like my favourite part to work on. And I just really liked how her eyes turned out, and just the fact that I didn't give her any I did give her eyelashes. Did I keep those? I'm not sure if I kept those, or yes, I didn't like the eyelashes. I didn't like them. She didn't have any on the reference photo, so I was like, why should I be unfaithful to the original design? That would be a disgrace. Background time. I'm usually absolutely terrible at backgrounds, and I hate them, but this background was kind of okay, because it only took me about like 5 minutes, the initial background, and then I put loads of like overlays and multiplies on top to make it how I wanted it to look like. And then I changed the opacity of the layers and was just messing around and erasing until I had something I kind of liked. So oh yeah, I remember erasing the bottom to show that there was like light coming from the bottom. And then I changed Katara as well, because I wanted to make her a bit more blue. And that is it. So that is how I got to this Katara, and I'm actually kind of happy with how she turned out. I mean, this could be improved if I had worked more on it, but I'm happy. Hopefully you're happy. Hopefully we're all happy. So I really hope you enjoyed watching me suffer, paint, and enjoy my painting process as well at some points. So subscribe, like, and have fun in life. Bye bye, beautiful people.